In the near future, Earth is a perfect place without violence and with a restored environment. But this happens because aliens called souls have dominated humanity. They are parasites that travel from planet to planet, lodging in the bodies of the dominant species and erasing the consciousness of the hosts. Souls can access the memories of the hosts and can be differentiated from normal humans by the silver rings in their eyes. There are still some humans who have not been dominated and are hiding to survive. One of these rebels is Melanie, who tries to hide in a hotel but is unfortunately found by a group of police-like souls called Seekers. Melanie manages to hit some of them and flees to the upper floor, where she jumps out the window and is seriously injured upon falling to the ground. The Seekers capture her and take her to a medical facility, where all of Melanie's wounds are instantly healed with an alien spray. Then they take a soul parasite from a capsule and insert it into her body. When she wakes up, her eyes have changed, and the soul inside her introduces herself as Wanderer. During the following hours, Wanderer is allowed to rest and get used to her new body, only to discover a voice in her head. Melanie refuses to die and is fighting against Wanderer's control. Later, the blonde Seeker calls Wanderer to her office and asks her to access Melanie's memories to discover where the rebels are hiding. Wanderer does so and begins to explain Melanie's past. One day, while swimming with her brother Jamie, the Seekers arrived. The siblings hid on the dock while in the house their father committed suicide to avoid becoming a soul. Melanie tries to prevent Wanderer from revealing these things, but she is not strong enough. That night, Wanderer dreams of her hostess's memories. Melanie was breaking into a house, looking for food, when she was attacked by the occupant Jared, who thought she was a soul. She soon realized that she was human like him, and he kissed her excitedly, but Melanie pushed him away and fled. Jared followed her, and after proving that he was also human, he asked her to form a team. When Wanderer wakes up, she cannot forget the feeling of the kiss, so she draws a portrait of Jared until Melanie forces her to let go of the pencil. The next day, the blonde finds the drawing and reprimands Wanderer for it before asking for more information. Wanderer explains that Melanie and Jamie began to live with Jared in the countryside. Melanie and Jared grew closer and eventually were together. Feeling their love leaves Wanderer very confused, and the blonde has to remind her that human physical impulses are also wrong. The flashback continues, showing that one day, Jared saw the Seekers approaching, so they had to flee hoping to find the rebels. During the journey, they stopped to rest in a hotel where the Seekers found Melanie. She was distracting them so that the others could escape. After that, Wanderer says she can't see any more memories and the blonde leaves. But there's a landscape in her mind that she immediately draws. Melanie convinces her to tear the paper into pieces because showing that location to the Seekers would put her loved ones in danger. In the following days, the blonde continues to interrogate Wanderer, who says nothing more because now that she has felt Melanie's love, she wants to protect it. One afternoon, the blonde informs Wanderer that Jared has been sighted and that the Seekers will soon find him. Wanderer panics and tries to attack the blonde, but she quickly overpowers her and puts her to sleep with the spray. Later at the facility, the blonde and a doctor conclude that Melanie is not letting Wanderer take control and announce that they will transfer her to a more docile host. The blonde plans to use Melanie only to see her memories and then discard the body. Wanderer stays to rest for the night as the procedure will be in the morning, and Melanie convinces her to flee. She teaches her how to block the door with a chair and makes her jump from the balcony, falling into the pool. A Seeker tries to stop Wanderer, but Melanie forces her to use the spray to put him to sleep. Afterwards, Melanie wants to steal a car, but Wanderer knows she can simply ask for it by saying it's an emergency. A driver hands her the car without hesitation because these aliens generally don't commit crimes and trust each other blindly. In the building, the blonde and the doctor struggle with the door and eventually break it down, but it's too late. They search the room, and among Wanderer's clothes, they find the pieces of the drawing. During the journey, Melanie keeps sharing memories of her relationship with Jamie to distract Wanderer and force her hands to drive towards the rebel base. When Wanderer realizes this, both begin to fight over the steering wheel, causing an accident off the road. With no other option, Wanderer lets Melanie guide her through the desert, being careful to step on stones so as not to leave traces. In the Seeker Center, the blonde reconstructs the drawing and locates the place on a digital map. She immediately leaves in her modern vehicle and arrives at the accident site, but finds no traces to follow. She calls for reinforcements and orders them to search the area. Meanwhile, Wanderer continues walking through the desert with only a small bottle of water from the car. Eventually, the sun punishes her too much and she faints under a tree. There she is found by Jeb, the leader of the rebels. While giving her water, Wanderer says, "You found us," and the use of "us" catches Jeb's attention. At that moment, more rebels arrive, but they are not happy. Maggie slaps her, while Ian and Kyle want to kill her for being a parasite. However, Jeb pushes them away with his weapon and bandages Wanderer to take her with them. The group enters a secret cave in the mountains where the rebels had been hiding all this time. Melanie's loved ones are there, but Jared immediately hits her. Maggie says Melanie should be treated by their doctor like the other parasites, but a shocked Jamie disagrees. Wanderer is given a room and Jamie spies on her through a hole in the ceiling. Melanie asks Wanderer not to tell anyone about her voice because they will think she is lying. Jared watches her room knowing that the other guys will want to kill her. When they arrive, Jared starts fighting with Kyle and Wanderer runs to defend him, but they ignore her and keep fighting. Ian takes the opportunity to grab Wanderer and start strangling her, but at that moment, Jeb appears and fires into the air as a warning, making everyone stop. He announces that the hallway to Wanderer's room is now off limits and threatens to shoot anyone who tries again. Before leaving, Jared asks Jeb to keep Jamie away from her. Sometime later, Ian, Jared, and Kyle notice that the Seekers are in the area. Finally, the group abandons the search because there are no clues to follow, but the blonde refuses to leave with the others. Back with Wanderer, she finally sees Jamie spying on her and explains that she took over Mel's body while Jeb secretly listens. At that moment, the guys return, and Jared reminds Jamie to stay away from Wanderer because she is bad. However, Ian begins to have doubts because souls generally don't defend others. In the desert, the blonde receives a call informing her that the search team is returning because humans were detected in the area. The next morning, Jeb tells Wanderer that he will call her Wanda from now on and takes her to an underground river so she can wash herself. After that, she takes Wanda to see the wheat plantation that they keep alive thanks to mirrors on the ceiling that redirect sunlight. At the same time, the Seekers begin searching the area with helicopters. Soon, Jeb hears the helicopters and orders everyone to close the mirrors so as not to be detected, managing to eliminate the reflection just in time. When the helicopters leave, Jeb gives his weapon to Jamie so he feels safe while he is with Wanda, without telling him that he removed the bullets. Jamie takes Wanda to see a cave full of fireflies, and Melanie decides that they must share the truth. Wanda explains that Melanie is still alive inside her, and a relieved Jamie hugs her. Meanwhile, a group of humans leaves in a truck in search of supplies. They raid a supermarket, and while loading the trucks, a Seeker finds them. Jared quickly knocks him out and puts him in the truck before they leave. The next morning, Wanda is invited to help with the wheat harvest. While working, she and Ian exchange flirtatious glances. Maggie refuses to give her water, and Ian shares his. Wanda enjoys the attention, although Melanie reminds her that he tried to kill her. Suddenly, the sound of returning helicopters scares Jamie, causing him to hurt himself with the scythe. Everyone runs to close the mirrors again to avoid being discovered. The helicopters fly away, but notice one of the trucks driving faster than allowed. The men in the truck open fire to scare the helicopter, but soon the Seekers and cars begin to chase them. Soon they are cornered with no way out, so they decide to crash the truck to avoid being captured. In the other truck, Jared and Kyle are devastated to see their friends die, but they have to pretend to be souls and move on. The blonde Seeker notices their hesitation and informs her team. Soon a Seeker car begins to chase them too, and Kyle shoots unsuccessfully. Jared stops the truck under a bridge, causing the car to crash into it. Then they try to hijack the driver, but at that moment the blonde arrives and starts shooting at them. The men immediately flee in the truck, and the blonde accidentally shoots the Seeker driver, killing him. The other Seekers criticize her, saying she is losing control and needs to abandon this useless pursuit. In the caverns, Wanda tells stories about her people. They have dominated 12 planets with intelligent life and swear that they have always lived in harmony with other species. She also reveals that she is over 1,000 years old. At that moment, Jared and Kyle return and are enraged to see Wanda sitting at the table as an equal. Jeb prevents them from shooting, and Ian tries to explain that she is not a threat, but they don't listen. Jamie interrupts and finally reveals that Melanie is still alive inside Wanda, but Jared refuses to believe it and leaves. Ian announces that Wanda can stay in his room for safety. That night, Jared dreams of his intimate moments with Melanie and decides to talk to her, although he keeps calling her she. Ian agrees to leave them alone, and Jared kisses Wanda, which causes Melanie to panic and force Wanda to push him away like the first time. Jared gets excited because he sees this as proof that Melanie is still there and tells her he loves her. Scared, Wanda flees to hide near the river. At that moment, Kyle looks for her, so she hides underwater. She waits for him to leave and tries to escape through another tunnel, but he waits for her and immediately attacks her. After an intense struggle, he tries to push her towards the waterfall, but Wanda manages to hit him and make him fall. Melanie wants to let him die, but Wanda grabs his hand to prevent him from drowning. Soon, Ian and Jared arrive and help him out of the water. After that, the doctor examines both of them, and Jeb demands an explanation. Wanderer says it was an accident, and Ian doesn't believe her, but since there is no evidence of an attack, Kyle remains for now. Then Jared orders Ian to stay away from Wanderer and leaves with Kyle to get supplies. Later, Ian takes Wanderer out of the cave to enjoy the sun and admits that he likes her. Wanderer says she likes him too, and Ian tries to kiss her, but Wanderer stops him due to Melanie's protests. Still, Ian kisses her, and Wanderer asks for time to think. Meanwhile, at the Seeker facility, the blonde continues to review the area recordings and notices that her hand is shaking. She refuses to admit that she is losing control while listening to a voice in her head. Sometime later, Wanderer realizes that Jamie's wound was not treated correctly. She runs to confront the doctor and is horrified to discover that captured Seekers are taken there for the doctor to extract the parasites, which kills them. After calling the group monsters, she retreats to her room to cry. Days pass and Wanderer refuses to leave the room or eat. Eventually, Jeb visits her and points out that she cannot expect humanity to surrender. Wanderer wants to leave, but for her to stay, Jeff promises not to bring any more prisoners. He also informs her that Jamie is very sick because his wound is infected. Worried, Wanderer runs to see Jamie while trying to talk to Melanie, but her voice no longer responds. She lies to Jamie saying that Melanie is fine, but afterwards she goes to find Ian and asks him to kiss her. Nothing inside her tries to stop the kiss, which confirms that Melanie is gone. However, Ian refuses to believe it and asks Jared to kiss Wanderer. This makes Melanie react and force Wanderer to bite Jared to stop the kiss. Knowing about Jamie, Melanie agrees that they need to do something, and Wanderer convinces Jared to take her to the city. Outside the hospital, Jared uses a knife to wound Wanderer, and she uses those wounds to get a consultation with a doctor. The advanced spray instantly heals all her wounds, and while the doctor is distracted, Wanderer steals several spray bottles and puts them in her bag. As she leaves, she sees a soul capsule and also takes it. Nearby, a mysterious motorcycle prepares to follow them. The couple returns to the caverns, and the sprays immediately heal Jamie, who feels better instantly. Now the group trusts Wanderer more and takes her on their next supply run, as she can get all the food legally thanks to her eyes. When they return to the cave, they are shocked to see the guard dead on the ground. At that moment, the blonde appears, as she was the person on the motorcycle. She prepares to shoot them, but Jeb appears first and knocks her down. The blonde is taken to the cave and healed with a spray, which leaves her very confused. Wanderer asks her some questions and realizes that the other Seekers don't know where she was, so they are safe. After much thought, Wanderer talks to the doctor and tells him that she can teach how to extract the parasites without killing them if he promises not to do it anymore, to which he agrees. Then the blonde is sedated, and the doctor makes an incision that Wanderer uses to teach the humans how to carefully extract the alien, convincing it to come out. The small alien is placed inside the capsule she stole, and the blonde wakes up as a human again, revealing that her original name is Lazy. Like Melanie, Lazy was also trapped in her own mind, which made the blonde chase Wanderer to prevent more hosts from ending up like her. A few hours later, the group goes to the city, and Wanderer uses the laser system by which the capsules reach Earth to send the blonde's parasite back into space. When they return to the caverns, Wanderer asks the doctor to remove her from Melanie's body and let her die. Everyone disagrees with the idea, as they can also save the parasite, but Wanderer doesn't listen, and Ian follows her and tells her he loves her. Then Wanderer finally gives him a farewell kiss. Sometime later, Wanderer wakes up and is shocked to see Melanie in front of her. The group brings a mirror and explains that they gave her the body of a brain-dead girl. So instead of taking a life, she is helping that person to live. Now Wanderer can start a new life with Ian, under her new human name Wanda, while Melanie returns with Jared. A few months later, the two couples are in the city and are stopped by a Seeker. He immediately takes off everyone's sunglasses to check if they are human and notices Wanda's alien eyes, asking if she is a prisoner. The others want her to lie to save herself, but Wanda says she is friends with humans. This makes the Seeker smile. It turns out that he is also working with a group of humans who have been looking for other survivors and invites them to join them.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.